Up above there's a driveway that you can come right down the hill and right into this corner. Look, here we are now. Here we are, we're rolling over the top of it. And it looks like a dual cab with a pickup bed.
G'day everyone, it's Dan here and I'm with my good friend Bill. Now I was very blessed to work with Bill over in the States, over in Vermont. Now you have come to beautiful sunny Australia and it's raining.
Oh, it's gorgeous stuff.
Now we have got the next 3 weeks, we're going to have a great time, but we have got a lot of work and we're going to cover a lot of ground. So we've got up to 5 missing persons in their vehicle, 3 different states, New South Wales, Victoria and down to Tasmania. So we have got a lot of driving, a lot of exploring and get to show you our beautiful country and hopefully bring some answers to some families.
So we're looking at 5 different missing persons, starting with Trent McKechnie here in Sydney.
Now, he was driving a white Toyota Hilux with fiberglass back on it. Quite a common vehicle here in Australia.
We're looking at the Cook River and the Georges River, it has some areas you can get into.
Well, the Georges River I've scanned many a time and I pulled one vehicle out there. There's 40, 50 other vehicles in there that I know of. So what we're going to do is we're going to go there and we'll talk a little bit more about Trent's case.
For families who have all but given up on finding their loved ones, this team is a last hope. Civilian divers cracking cold cases for free.
So we've got the setup here with sonar, batteries, a small setup for an engine that sits through the middle of the kayak, and then we have the Humminbird sonar that is set up here so that Dan can read the screen if a vehicle shows up. Good little setup on wheels so that he can get it in and out from the truck and then be able to help people to really see if an area is clear. I mean, there's a very good potential possibility that someone could go in here. It could get deep water right away, right there, just off this boat ramp. And there is an access from that opening right there. From the bridge left corner, they would have to take a left in order to get there, but it's very possible and plausible that someone could take a left-hand turn, come right in here, go down this boat ramp and go right in. And especially in the dark at 8:30 at night, you don't see anything. So Trent went missing in March 13th of 2020. Trent came into town, into here, went to the aquatic center location, and then no idea where he went from there. We're gonna see what we can do to see if we can clear some areas. You ready to go, Dan? Yeah. There we go. So we don't have a lot of information on Trent, and you know, there's YouTube videos of his mother talking and about his life a little bit, about his construction, and you know, the fact that he has a son, and you know, that he was a really nice human being, and that he always was looking for a good time and having fun. But there's not a lot of information about his construction company or where he worked. We're kind of going on a whim that, you know, looking at some of these boat ramps that are close to some of these restaurants up near Sydney, thinking maybe this was a late night mistake that occurred or an accident that occurred, you know, after having beers or you know, having dinner at a restaurant and just by accident driving off down a ramp.
So we're only at 1.2 meters.
Parking area.
2.7 here. There's the pillars under the bridge. We're just coming up to the first little boat ramp. Only half a metre deep, so super shallow. And this is right near the mouth of the river really, so as we go upstream it's going to get even shallower. Certainly a poor old sad old boat, that one. So I'm going all the way to the shoreline along here, so if there was a hole or anything like that, we'd pick it up.
You know, it's very important to have as many of the addresses of a person that you're searching for. You know, friends, family, you know, places of work, places that literally that they frequented all the time, where they, you know, met their girlfriend, or that they used to spend with their children, because all those addresses are the frequented locations of your life circle as a human being, and that life circle is what we really need to know in order to put you in a place that actually puts your car in a location in a body of water that we can locate for the family. And I think that's a very important piece.
And Bill, you did a lot of work with the Donny Massio case, and you drew circles of his life, basically, where he travelled. And the location was just astounding. In the end, it was right in the middle of where you would guess.
Well, so that it's all about probability. I mean, the probability that a person is going to be within their life circle and really close to the dead center circle, it's a probability diagram, and it's called a Venn diagram, and it's calculus, it's math. I mean, we don't really stray outside of our location, and if we keep using the same road every day, we get to a point where we become too comfortable with that road, and if we make a mistake that could cost our life. Or we are on that road where there is a boat ramp or a dock that actually is the location that we went to, because we go there all the time, and that's really like the center of your life circle.
That looks like a little boat sitting on the bottom there. It's not a car, but it's a little boat. Coming up to the edge where the bridge is, and you can park all the way along there. Back down to 2.1 meters. We're following the edge of the shoreline, and it's starting to rain. The particular Toyota that we're looking at is only 2-wheel drive, so it's going to have an independent front end on it, so it's not going to have a solid front diff. So we should be able to tell that if it's sitting upside down.
Okay, so you want me to slow it down a little bit here?
Yeah, slow it down here now.
Yeah, remember, we're incoming tide, so we're just going to float over the top of them.
Jeez, that looks like a car, mate. It really does look like a car. But it's further in, so it's sitting in around there. It's probably why they're fishing near it. It looks like 4 wheels sticking up, but that's all you can tell. Coming up to another object. Again, it's a little hard to tell, but it's casting a deep shadow. Third one was, well, that was 2 then. There was 1 directly in front of this little dock, and you can literally drive straight off the dock. It's a much older shape there, like it's only like a rusted chassis, but it's a square shape like a car. And then we've got something on our right hand side. That's a much longer object though. It has like a big pointy end on it, like it's not a shadow of a car, but we need to go back the other way and just go back over that a little bit further out. We've gone too far in.
We can just go over there and live scan it too.
Yeah, I think we need to. So that target there off that point, it's only 1 metre high. It's not really in the shape of a car, even with it sitting down in the mud. So I'm happy that that one's not it. Now we need to go back and have a look at these other ones. There's that really big shadow which is on our left hand side that I missed. So we need to go back a little bit further out. That just looks like rocks, that one. Yeah, it's long and thin from that angle, like logs.
you know, Trent was a boxer. He had 2 professional fights, and so the fact that he, you know, going to restaurants and bars to drink on a Friday night during COVID, I don't see it as a plausible, you know, thing for him. I think more that he had a meeting, he did a quote, he was working on his construction firm, he was boxing, he was doing martial arts, and something happened between the time where he left Eatonville Parade at the Aquatic Center and getting back to his office and dropping his tools and getting to his house. And so I really think that being down closer to, you know, his home is a much more plausible scenario for him going missing. Plus there's a lot more large bodies of water on the Georges River.
Yeah. I don't think there's any point going upstream, do you, Bill?
I just don't feel like there's enough depth there. I mean, we're talking about 1 meter, which is 3 feet. You know, it's not really, we really need to have 8 to 10 foot worth of depth. Plus you have a white car with a white cap, plastic fiberglass cap. I mean, it's gonna be hard to hide that, you know, unless you have the depth.
Yeah.
It takes 13 feet to hide a red truck that's, you know, 23 feet long. Oh, it's coming down, boys.
Coming down. I think we might head out.
There's no messing around now.
Well, that may be the rest of the search done for today, mate. I think it's the big storm's coming in. It's getting late in the day. We've made a good start though. We're coming up to the boat ramp to get out.
Let's go, little electric engine. Let's go.
Bill, we're ready to start our second day. We're going to hit the Georges River looking for Trent. So he was at the King's Academy of Martial Arts earlier in the day. There is 100 places on that river where there could be cars. What we'll do is we will go down to the park, put in there at the boat ramp. We'll mark those vehicles and then we'll go up towards that area and check along.
Yeah, I think looking at the King's Academy behind, there's a vacant lot to the right that you actually have access directly into this corner square. I think we should at least clear this section right here, just in case someone drove a vehicle straight down from that location. And then if we go down Newbridge Road, down to the corner, it turns into Riverside Park. And Riverside Park goes along the St. George's all the way back to the Heron Park. And the Heron Park has a lot of different square anomalies along the water line, along the outside edge, and it's an easy access in the dark. You know, after 8 o'clock at night, it's a very easy place to, you know, to hide a vehicle. So let's take a look at it.
All right, mate. We've had our cup of tea. Let's go.
Right here up on the left, I believe, is the King's Martial Arts Studio. It's right there. Yeah. That's the King's Martial Arts Studio right there. And right behind it is the Georges River. Upriver around the corner is where that is, and we're going to get upriver into that section and see if we can locate something in the corner behind the Martial Arts Studio. And, you know, we need to start creating some awareness for some of these missing persons that are in vehicles in, you know, odd spaces and places, and make sure that fishermen know that these things exist. And that's what it's all about, is trying to get to the point where people know about it, more people know about it, you know, and people like Dan, who are putting their effort and time and energy into making this happen, to try to create the awareness for people that have gone missing in their vehicles is a very key part of, you know, solving the case. And you know, coming to places like this and giving it your all is what it's all about.
We know there is 6 or 7 cars just here. So what we need to do is we need to start marking them and seeing if we can identify Trent's vehicle.
Okay, you got a vehicle right here on the right.
Yep.
At an angle. It looks like 3 of them.
Yep.
There's another one here.
Just inside.
Looks like a shadow. You get another one here, upside down.
Yep.
Looks like there's a pile of stuff right there. I don't know if it's a dock.
I suspect you should see one over here too.
No, we got 2 right here.
Yep.
1, 2,
3, 4 maybe?
3, yeah. That one actually looks like a... yeah, that's a car with 2 wheels. I can see the wheels on the front. There's another one off to the side, to the left.
So there's the end of the boat ramp.
Looks like we're going to get some wins today. I want to make sure that the martial arts studio doesn't have a vehicle behind it. That's the most opportune location. You know, we need to get the word out there though, because you know Trent's been missing now for almost 3 years. You know, his family misses him. His family would like him home.
And that's the thing. Every spot that we clear is an answer. It's not the answer we really want, but it also says, look, I can drive past that location now, and I know 100% he's not there.
If you look in the distance, you can see the eyes of the lion, which is the King's Academy Martial Arts location where Trent was seen at 4:30 in the morning working out, and we think he might have come back here again at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night to train again. Again, it's been 3 years since Trent has gone missing. You know, things have grown up and have gotten, you know, a little bit more filled in. But right now we've got 2.1 or 2 meters. So we're at around 6 to 7 feet in here. You know, we need 8 foot to 12 foot to hide a truck. So let's see if there's any deep holes in the corner. Well, storm damage that has brought all the materials up into this corner here. And it's also brought in a bunch of trash, and this kayak is sitting here right off the edge in about 3 feet of water.
It's 1.7 meters deep. You can see all that is just all weed.
Up above there's a driveway that you could come right down the hill and right into this corner. Pretty clean on the bottom, right?
Yeah. Apart from a few little tufts of weed coming on.
And it's only 2 meters deep, so it's only 6 feet in here.
So if we weren't looking at a car, it would be going up all the way here.
Yeah, we would see it. It would be massive. So the car would have to be in this corner here, or in that corner there, and we're not seeing anything currently jumping off the screen that says vehicle. Again, that is the King's Martial Arts studio right there. We're currently back here behind the martial arts facility, and his home is up the Georges River, up on Farrell Road, which we could check near the golf courses up at Chipping Norton Lake.
That's back down where we came from.
Okay, so you know we're Farrell Road is, so that's really kind of like this, right? The way that it's set up, coming back down towards it.
Yeah.
So you know, I think we check all the way back and just keep working along the bridges, the locations where there are fishermen. You know, every location we can check between here and Bass Hill and his Farrell Road home, I think is important.
Well, there's another, at least another 2 boat ramps further downstream. Both of them have multiple vehicles in the water there.
Well, I'd like to see if we can at least mark those, Dan, like everything that we can check at this boat ramp that we're at currently. Let's mark it on a map, and that way we can also determine if there's anything that's very similar to a Hilux.
Yep.
And then I think we go to the next boat ramp and we do the same thing, get all those marks so that you can then come back at a later time.
Yep.
We're casting out 30 feet to the left, and I'm sorry, 30 feet to the left and 30 feet to the right.
Meters.
In meters, which is approximately 90 feet to the right and 90 feet to the left. We're currently showing 3.3 meters of depth, which is approximately 10 to 11 feet. The boat is going 5 kilometers per hour, and we're trying to find things that have a depth of approximately 2 meters in depth, which is about 6 feet. We're going to go to a boat ramp here and see what's there. A lot of trash in the water, a lot of items that need to be, removed, but it seems to be a prevalent problem in the area that, people are dumping things throughout the area. There's the car there, if it's the car. Look, here we are now. Here we are, we're rolling over the top of it. And it looks like a dual cab with a pickup bed.
That's what it looks like.
And it looks like something's flipped over the side. Straight up. Coming up on it, coming up on it, coming up, drop down, drop down, drop down, drop down further, drop down further, drop down further. Right there, you're on it.
That's definitely a scale on it.
You got that locked on tight, right?
Yeah, it's blowing us around, but yeah, absolutely. So we're going to do is now is going to head back. We've got Michael Oliver, who's coming to give us a hand.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Yeah, I'm Bill. Good, man. Good. Yourself?
Nice to meet you, brother.
Yeah, definitely.
On the left-hand side, I have a vehicle on the left, and I have at least 2 or 3 on the right.
So, Michael, you're going to jump in and check this vehicle for us?
On the top cab though, it's falling through. So it's been in there a while. It's been there for a while. Okay.
We've got 2 vehicles here. We've just put the line on it. Are you going to jump back in, Michael?
Jump back in, mate. The front's there. I'm standing on the front. Yeah, like I'm actually standing on the front. What's happened? You sure on it though? But it's pretty old.
Yeah. I don't think that's more than 3 years old.
More than 3 years though.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty much right on top of it now.
that one looks like a pickup truck.
Alright, so we got down in water. He's gonna free dive it.
So, it's not the car that we're looking for. We're looking for a white dual cab Hilux. This is a blue 4-door sedan. That's about all I can tell, but we'll come back with our dive gear another time, dive on it, see if we can find some plates, and Michael and I will work on getting it out of the water. If you have any information about Trent or where he may have been, if you'd seen him that night, please call the police assistance line on 13 14 44, or you can contact Crime Stoppers.